First at 5, let's get to that live pinpoint Doppler 12 weather alert. We have a live look now from our Narragansett Beach camera. We're tracking the possibility of some minor coastal flooding as the rain and wind picks up.
All right, let's give you another live look here. This is the Jam Cam at Route 6 and 10 at Toby Street. The rain is making the drive home tricky tonight, but the heaviest stuff is still on the way. We have live pinpoint weather team coverage for you tonight. Eyewitness News reporter Susan Campbell is standing by with more on how flood-prone areas are getting ready.
But first, Chief Meteorologist Tony Petrarca has the latest from the Forecast Center. Tony?
That's right. The heaviest of the weather in terms of rain and wind yet to arrive, but that will come in here during the late evening hours and overnight. The rain so far has been moderate, not too excessive or overly heavy, at least not yet. Take a look at live pinpoint Doppler 12 radar and what I'm tracking, and there's certainly nothing scattered about the rain here. A lot of green filling up your TV set at home. Some of the darker greens indicating some slightly heavier rain, a few flecks of yellow as well. The best chances for real heavy downpours and even some thunderstorms would arrive sometime after midnight and during the pre-dawn hours of tomorrow morning. But quite a bit of moisture I'm tracking off the mid-Atlantic coastline. Much heavier rain now towards New York City and offshore, even some isolated thunder, and that'll be working through later on this evening and during the overnight hours. So both the wind and the rain picking up in intensity, especially later at night. So the threat tracker now through this evening, overnight, and even into early tomorrow morning around 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, certainly at that medium level with the rain and wind. The high wind advisory in effect from this evening at 8 o'clock through 10 a.m. on Thursday for the area shaded in pink. Strong southerly gales on the order of 40 to 50 miles per hour. Wind speeds of that magnitude can certainly take down some tree limbs and some power lines, with some of the strongest wind actually being realized along the coastline. That's not to say that inland areas won't have strong wind, but the stronger wind gusts would be found along the coastline, especially late tonight and very early tomorrow morning. Coming up in our next weather segment, we'll take a look at some of this adverse weather in more detail hour by hour, and we'll take a look at specific wind gusts we think may occur later on tonight, and especially during the pre-dawn hours. So a lot to cover. The full forecast coming up in about 10 minutes.
Thank you, Tony. And we continue our pinpoint weather team coverage now with Eyewitness News reporter Susan Campbell.
She went to 2 cities to see how they're working to prevent street flooding. She's live now with the Providence Mobile Newsroom with more on what she's learned.
Providence and Cranston both know their problem areas, and today we found DPW crews out clearing storm drains in those places. The area near Cranston Street and Dyer Avenue is a flood-prone area, and it's where we found a Cranston DPW crew clearing storm drains.
We had about 5 crews out today. We had a couple out yesterday, just paying special attention to make sure that the leaves are clear, all those debris are cleared. Not even just over the drain, but a small pathway so that the water has a place to go and find its way into the drain system.
In all, there are about 7,200 storm drains in Cranston. Mayor Alan Fung tells us crews can't get to all of them, so they're tackling low-lying areas to get ahead of the storm.
They focus principally on those areas that see the heavier flooding that are consistent problems in the city.
We found more drain clearing in Providence because many of the drains there were also covered with leaves and filled with debris.
It's pretty bad, but I make sure all the basins are empty. If we get a lot of rain today, especially this basin, it's not gonna get flooded. It's gonna flow after I've been digging here.
Today, this process with this specialized equipment was repeated at 10 different basins in the city. And of course, this is a good time to remind you, if there is any street flooding, you should never drive through that floodwater. You don't know how deep it is, and your car could get swept away very quickly. Coming up new at 6, what National Grid wants you to know about this storm that's headed our way. Live in Providence with the Mobile Newsroom, Susan Campbell, Eyewitness News.